Have you ever wondered about the faith of Abraham? This extraordinary man stands tall in the annals of the Old Testament, a beacon of obedience and devotion. God didn't merely speak to him, he visited him, considered him a friend. Now that's a bond worth exploring, isn't it? Abraham's love for God was so profound, he was willing to uproot his entire life on God's command. Picture this: a 75-year-old man, settled and comfortable in his surroundings, suddenly tasked with the challenge of leaving everything he knew behind. It wasn't just a physical journey, but a test of faith and obedience. Can you imagine the courage it would take to step into the unknown like that? But Abraham did not hesitate. He trusted in God's plan, in the promise of a place he would later inherit. And so, he set off on a journey, not knowing where his steps would lead. Abraham trusted God and moved, even though he did not know his destination. But Abraham wasn't perfect. His faith journey was not without its pitfalls. Diving into the pages of Genesis 12, we encounter Abraham in a moment of fear. He finds himself in the court of Pharaoh, his heart pounding against his chest. His wife Sarah was a woman of such beauty that she could turn the heads of men even in her age. Abraham, anxious and fearful for his life, chooses to deceive Pharaoh, making him believe that Sarah, his wife, is in fact his sister. This moment illuminates the human side of Abraham. Earlier, he had displayed remarkable faith, uprooting his life at God's command. But here, we see him succumbing to fear, choosing deceit over truth. This incident is a stark reminder that even Abraham, a towering figure of faith, had his moments of weakness. It's a testament to the fact that, even though Abraham was a man of faith, he was also a man with human weaknesses. Abraham's relationships also tested his faith. One significant relationship was with his nephew, Lot. Their connection was often strained by conflicts and disagreements, yet in every situation, Abraham consistently chose peace over strife. This is vividly illustrated in an incident recorded in Genesis. Lot, taking advantage of Abraham's peace-loving nature, chose the best territory for himself. However, this decision backfired. Lot and his family found themselves in a disputed area, entangled in local wars, and ultimately, Lot was taken prisoner. But here's where Abraham's character shines. Upon hearing of Lot's plight, he didn't turn his back. Instead, he bravely stepped into the conflict to rescue his nephew. This shows us a different side of Abraham, a man not just of peace, but of courage and loyalty. He was willing to risk everything to save his family. Abraham's love for peace, mixed with bravery and loyalty, shows a man learning to live up to God's standards. God made significant promises to Abraham, but Abraham and Sarah's impatience led them to take matters into their own hands. God had promised Abraham a lineage as numerous as the stars in the sky. However, there was a hitch. Sarah was barren, and they were no spring chickens either. Rather than waiting on God's timing, they decided to speed up the process. Sarah offered her maid Hagar to Abraham. The result? A child was indeed born, but it also birthed a whole lot of unhappiness. Sarah was hurt, Hagar was oppressed, and Abraham was caught in the middle of it all. This wasn't how God intended things to be. It's a stark reminder that impatience can lead us down a path of heartache and confusion. But it also shows us that even the great patriarch Abraham had his moments of weakness. His journey of faith was not a straight path, but a winding road filled with ups and downs. Abraham's journey of faith was not a straight line. It was a journey filled with faith, fear, peace, conflict, promise, and impatience. But through it all, Abraham's story teaches us important lessons about faith and obedience.